So before we can get into ComRAD itself, can we talk about you and your entire, from start, how it kind of got to where you are?
Yeah, I'd be happy to. Do you want the long version or the short version?
I'll take the long version, actually.
The long version. Okay.
If you don't mind, I'll give you the setup.
Yep.
You had, I think, started off at the young age of 16 or 17?
Correct.
We'll go from 16 to 17 onwards.
Yep. If you want to go that early, around age of 16, 17, I built my first website around that age, right? I was always fascinated with the technology and web, industry, internet industry was becoming more and more popular. It was booming back in the day. And I was studying for computer science and technology at the university. So back at the university, our program was very adequate. The stuff we learned, we never really used in practice. Like it was more of very old programming techniques that are very, very good for logic, but not very practical. You can't really build successful websites, e-com store with the stuff we learned at the university. But nonetheless, I really enjoyed, that industry and the opportunities that came with it. I think I built my first website around 16, 17. When I first came to America, I worked at the restaurant, and the owner of that restaurant asked me if I could code a website for the restaurant because they never had one. So I said, sure. My first order in the US was actually $300. So I built my first website for $300. It was coded from scratch. And then from there, little by little, I started getting little orders from community, some friends that I knew, some for fun, some, thought that it would be a really unique idea. So, that's how my early career started. When I realized that it's a skill that I can use to build more professional projects, but I still need to learn a lot. I thought of joining an existing company that can give me some mentorship, maybe some coaching, coach me up, teach me a few things, specifically on the topic of how do you communicate with clients. That's the piece I was missing. Right. So I joined a company called Cherry Web. I don't think they're around anymore. They were based out of Chicago. And this was around 2007, 2008-ish. I can't really recall, when specifically it was. My job was to design the website, code the website, and then communicate with the client while doing so. Sell them on the vision, sell them why I'm designing it this way, sell them why I'm coding this way, and so on. Funny enough, 2007, 2008 in the US was known as a crisis year, right? My company started losing clients left and right just because they couldn't afford it anymore. So after 2 months of being there, I was let go with a group of 5 other employees that just joined the group. And I was like, I got to look for something else. So surely enough, in a couple months, I joined another company, worked there for a year as a front-end developer, then back-end developer, different technologies, then joined very cool agency. This was also a Chicago, everything was around Chicago area. That agency was called Lacesso Group. And that agency, I'm really thankful to because they taught me a lot of things. And over the years, I've been promoted from designer to coder, from coder to project manager, and I was handling more and more and more work. At one point, I had a team of 5-6 people underneath, doing all kinds of things, for the project. But I would always be the first one to ask lots of questions. I'd be like, why did we give this client this specific price? Or why did we provide them with the strategy? Or why do we think the strategy is going to be successful? I was always trying to dig up as much information. I was trying to boost up my knowledge while at this agency because secretly I knew that one day I would want to start a professional agency, but I was just not ready. So I used Lacesso sort of as a coaching platform, and they were very happy to do that. My mentor, my manager at that point, we had a lot of discussions. He asked me, like, Ivan, when you grow up, what do you want to do? I'm like, I want to be my own agency. I know that I want to serve small businesses. I see a lot of small businesses frustrated with, lack of agencies helping small businesses grow because all the agencies are focusing on more of a, businesses with money, businesses that can afford larger checks, right? Because that's where the profits are. But the small businesses, the foundation of America, are specifically the ones that have been lacked, right? So he was like, okay, no problem. Just stick with me and I'm going to give you a lot of knowledge. Just help me out. And I spent there maybe 3 or so years, maybe 4 years. And only when I had 3 full-time employees that were working for me at my own agency, ComRAD, at that point I came to him and I said, look, I think this is time when we part ways because I think I really learned everything I wanted to learn. And my business really requires all the attention that I can bring to it. And he was happy. We found a replacement for me. This was a really nice transition, but I'm really grateful to my mentor. His name was Dimo, and the agency itself.
Right. I mean, I'm kind of glad that that journey kind of panned out the way it did for you, because even though like things might have been rough, if you didn't take that step to start on your own thing, we would probably wouldn't be having this podcast right now.
Thank you. Yeah, exactly. And so many years now after this experience, I'm thinking back and I just realized that if you're successful at what you do, you have to give back. Like you have to learn, you have to let others learn from you, because how else are they going to learn? So I'm really, yeah.
I was going to ask, are you kind of providing like a mentorship thing as well now?
Yes, Aaron. I actually have a few people that I happy to be a mentor to. One is the startup agency that sort of started from the ground up. And we meet almost weekly. I give them a lot of ideas on what to do, what not to do. I listen them up, and I'm mostly there for the emotional support. Because I remember how it was back in the day at ComRAD. And I wish that there was someone that could hold my hand and tell me, look, the first couple of years are going to be rough, but just buckle up, get ready. No one said it's going to be easy, but you're in the mid-20s. You're going to be okay. Even if this is not going to work out, you can always go and find another job.
Yeah. And I'm kind of glad that now that you're also kind of passing that torch on to other people, being like, hey, I can hold your hand and help you out, but like, you should know that it's going to be a tough journey for you.
Yeah.
Through all these challenges that you had in your early days, along with the mentorship kind of guiding you through that, did you ever feel that this might not be for you and that you should probably pivot to something completely different?
Yes. As they say, the grass is always greener on the neighborhood lot. Yeah. There were so many opportunities where a friend would come to me and, tell me an amazing idea that he, or she might have thought of themselves, and there would be a somewhat clear path to, build up on that idea. And I'll be thinking to myself, like, what am I doing? I'm building an agency. Okay, at the most it would probably be, 25, maybe 50 million. That's usually most of the agencies similar to us. We're happy when we achieve $1 million in revenue. And then we're super happy when we achieve $5 million in revenue. And only a few percent would achieve $10 million threshold. And then from there, only a few agencies would make it to be a $50 million agency. That's it. That's your cap. So when you look at all those amazing SaaS stories, Software as a Business, or, amazing other startup businesses that are promised to be $billion opportunities, obviously, you think yourself, hey, am I in the right thing? Because I have so much knowledge. I have so much opportunity to do much larger things. But over the years, I actually grew up liking it. And I think I'm definitely in the right spot. And I happen to change my work structure and the things that I do to the point where I love coming to work every day. It constantly evolves. Don't get me wrong. At one point, I was feeling almost burned out because I was constantly doing the same thing. I'll be talking to clients. I'll be selling. I'll be involved in marketing strategies. I'll be putting out fires in operations, collecting money and so on and so on and so on. And that's really hard for one, it was two of us, two business owners at the beginning, but still it was really, really tough. But now since I have a team of about 65 of us right now that are behind us, and each of them have a clear role, I was able to delegate a lot of things that I've been doing. And I constantly try to evolve myself. I constantly push myself to learn new things and get myself in a position where, I don't know how to, for instance, I'll give you, and sorry for a segue, right? Because we've been talking about one thing, but now I'm like segueing to a slightly different topic. Yeah. And so my vision always was to become a technology company. Marketing agency is awesome, and we've been doing tremendous work for our clients. Our results have been stellar. But if you're thinking about the future, if you're thinking about exit at one point, If you are a marketing agency, which is a service business, at the most you can sell your agency 3, 4, maybe 5x of your EBITDA, which is okay, but it's not gonna make your living, right? You're not gonna all of a sudden say,
Right.
okay, I'm done working for the rest of my life. No, you
Yeah, I
still
can
need
quit
to
and
do
retire
something.
now.
Yeah, right. That's not gonna happen. But if you consider it as a technology company that has a technology component, then your agency is all of a sudden is traded at 8, 10x multiple EBITDA, which is much higher. So similar type business you can sell for, twice as much, or maybe 3 times as much. And it was also a passion of mine to get myself into the setting, into the technology setting, because in the future, I want to focus on more of technical solutions. I have a few ideas that are brewing in my mind that I do want to explore at one point. I'm not quite ready because they would require my full attention, but I want to make
Right.
sure we test out the technology arm, how to roll out a product, how to sell it, how to market it, how to build an MVP, how to bootstrap it or how to get an investment for it and so on. So all those things I want to test out before I work on a new idea.
Niche down.
No, it definitely evolved over the years. We started out as a web design shop. For the first couple of years, we were only designing websites. And we were working with pretty much every industry you can name. I think we did a count and we ended up counting something like 42 industries that we did projects for. 42, think about that number.
Right.
So it's really hard because if you work with, let's say, a local service provider on one hand, and then an e-commerce store, a software business, and then an education company, all of them require a completely different strategy, completely different setup. Their target audience is completely different. They have their own needs. They have their own challenges. So you have to research. You have to understand that. You have to step in their, shoes and so on. It's really, really complicated. I mean, some agencies are able to do it. I'm inspired by Neil Patel. He's an amazing guru of mine. He grew his agency to an enormous size, and they deal with all kinds of companies. But we're not. We're not that. So about not yet, and we're probably not going to be. So when we started our company as a web design shop, maybe 3 years into it, we decided that web sites is not an answer because our clients would come to us and say, okay, now that my website is done, I am sitting there and I'm waiting for clients, but they're not calling. Right. What do I do next? So we figured, okay, well, next logical solution would be to offer marketing services. So we started learning that. We figured out how to do marketing and we started doing that. We added SEO service, a PPC service. Now, most of our clients come to us and say, cool, I'm getting lots of leads, but I can't really close them. What do I do now? So we're working on sales enablement techniques and services that would help them close the leads that we generate. And then on top of it, about 3-4 years ago, we had a serious breakdown in our business, and we made a decision that we need to specialize. There's a famous saying that goes, riches are in niches, right? So we started looking around and we started analyzing what do we do really, really well. And then we started looking at legal sector because we had the most concentration of our clients being attorneys. And that became our focus area. About 3-4 years ago, we separately focused on that niche. We built up a package for them. We did a very extensive research to analyze our competitors, their offerings, and so on. We matched it with our own more compelling offerings, and we went really hard after lawyers. Now, about a year ago, we started diversifying and we went into home services. We've noticed that more and more concentration of our clients was also in home services. So this is our secondary area of growth. And then lately we've been investing heavily into healthcare space. If you think about all three industries, what's common there is they're all sort of need the same marketing recipe. They're all local service providers. So for us to drive local prospects to them is somewhat similar. Whether it's a lawyer, a construction company, a contractor, or a doctor, or a surgeon, whatnot, it it all comes down to the same marketing recipe.
The thing here is that I'm going to come to you as a consultant. I need some help with starting an agency. I've seen ComRAD Digital Marketing, and it's amazing what they can do. And I want you to kind of give me an idea of how I can do that for myself as well.
Okay. Let me ask you a couple questions, if you don't mind.
Right. Yep.
Darren, why are you starting this agency? What's your end goal? You want to make money, or you like the lifestyle, or you just want to be cool? What's the end game?
It's two things. One, I want to help people get off the ground because they don't really have the, let's say, capacity to do such things. And two, I want to make money for sure.
Okay, love it. Okay, let me ask you this: are you ready to invest 80, 100 hours a week? At the beginning for the next couple of hours. Do you have that luxury, or does your family situation not allow for that, or whatever other factors?
For now, yeah, I think I should be able to dedicate that much time.
Okay, love it. And then you have an experience in business or marketing or technology?
Absolutely nothing at all. Zero
Okay.
experience. I come from like a rich family, basically.
A rich family. Okay, but you're ready to work your ass off.
I'm ready to work my ass off, but I've just got the capital to throw it at as well.
Okay, all right, cool. Aaron, so a few things I can definitely tell you. Number one, reputation is everything. How you do things will reflect on your business growth and scalability. If you end up providing shitty product or shitty service, forget about it. Yes, there are a lot of scammers. There are a lot of agencies. Don't get me wrong. Maybe 75% of agencies would promise something to a client, would never deliver it, just to get clients money. Is this sustainable? No. Can they grow? Yeah, they grow a little bit, but then they shut their doors for the most part, right? If you're not that, if you want to be proud of what you build, if you want your team to be proud of the business, and if you want to come to your office, look around and say, wow, this is a really cool crew of people, and we could do a lot of things to damage this freaking industry, then my suggestion to you is build the product or build the service to the point where you invest as much attention, as much, power, as much energy, as much resources as possible, even if it's not going to be profitable at the beginning. But make sure your clients will stick out for you. Make sure that if you have a prospective client and you connect them with your existing client, they will be able to say things like, no brainer, you should hire these guys. Don't hire anyone else because they're the ones that put me right here on the map. Trust them. I would never go with anyone else. So that would be my suggestion, number one. How do you do this? Well, it all starts with you as a center of the energy. You're going to feed a lot of people. You're going to feed this mission. So you have to have a discipline. You have to learn constantly. You have to educate yourself. You have to watch a lot of YouTube videos. You have to listen lots of podcasts. You have to listen to all the people that made it. And I'm not one of them yet. Listen to Neil Patel, listen to many other gurus that, done that, been there, right? Rusty, for instance, from Scorpion, an amazing, gigantic agency. Listen to how, they do things and how they, build the vision of their agency.
Okay.
Second, you need an exceptional team. You need amazing resources. You need the best of the best. You can't afford them yet because you just started out. Obviously, it depends on your capital. If you have large capital to start this business from the ground up properly, then hire them. That's amazing. When I was starting out, I was bootstrapping my company, meaning that I had to build, I had to hire resources with the revenue that I was getting from the clients that I had. And that was a slower go, obviously. So I could only hire resources that were sort of fired up by my energy, by my vision. They were sold by, where we can go and so on. You're not going to hire an amazing, artificial intelligence developer right now that could easily get a 250K from Meta or Google or places like that. You're just not going to have capital. But what you can do is you can find people that are going to listen to you, that are going to stick with you because they like your idea. They like where you're going. You have potentially an opportunity to change the world. You can help someone. You just told me that you would love to help other businesses get from the ground running, get to their success. So that's a powerful story. Stick to it. Remember it. Repeat it every day. Tomorrow, in a week, in a month, in a year, in 2 years. Because trust me, in the year, you may get hard because you wish that in a year, your agency is already an established company. You're probably not going to be that way. You're probably going to have to put out a lot of fires, just like I did. You're going to have issues with revenue collection. You're going to have issues with some clients leaving for various causes. Some of them are closing doors. Some have been sued and they have to close their doors. Some are merging with competitors, or been acquired by someone, and so on. So you have to weather it. You have to basically get up every day, get to the mirror in whatever condition you are. You have to put up a mask. You have to say, I am changing the world. I am special. And that's why my people, my crew is going to respect me and do it with me.
I kind of started this as a hypothetical. And I think when you started talking, I just zoned in and I was like, wait a minute, I should really be paying attention. But I think when you mentioned also a lot earlier that you are kind of doing mentorship for other people, I see how impactful it can be. Because I know we're just doing a podcast and this is kind of like, you are just telling me these things and I can implement it. But for some reason, when you said it, I need to implement it now. Like after we're done with this call, I'll probably go into my journal and start saying that, okay, cool, I have to start my company in a week or two.
Well, see, Aaron, and this is exactly what I call giving back to a community, right? And right. I'm totally cool with that because I feel like the more you give back, there's such a thing as karma. The more you give back, the more you will receive. And I'm totally subscribing to it. Right. I've been very thankful with people that have been in my way and that taught me for free in some of the cases. I was surprised, very surprised.
Thanks for watching that episode. I hope you enjoyed. For more videos like this, make sure you like and subscribe.